And Linda, this has been a difficult day for drivers.
You know, it has right now. The rain has really let up here on I-80 in Natomas, but earlier today we saw some strong winds. Talking more than 200 businesses affected by this fire, and right now we're seeing a lot of activity taking place behind me at the Cheesecake Factory. Arpaio has raised more than $2 million for his 2012 campaign. J.D. Hayworth has accused you of voting as a moderate but claiming to be a conservative Republican. What do you say to that?
I say it's foolish.
Look at this damage. You can see where one of the air conditioning units that was taken once stood. Yeah, and right now it's pretty hard to believe that a storm is moving its way into our area because it's absolutely gorgeous outside. The sun is shining. I'm good. I think I can handle this.
Are you? You doing okay?
Not bad, yeah.
All right, Linda, okay. We're going to take you to the next step then.
Not on your side, Linda Garrett is here with this real-life drama.
That's right, Guy. Yeah, things aren't okay at the OK Corral. A group of performers playing the badge-toting tyrants of the Wild Wild West wanted to take their fight to the streets. Instead, they wound up in an unlikely place to settle the score.
Take 7 Folks, 3 o'clock, comedy gunfight down El Dorado town.
It's a modern-day shootout in the town too tough to die.
The sheriff's department's sitting down here in a gray truck filming us right now. I think that's totally unfair, too.
And it involves the usual suspects, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and Ike Clanton, in the wild western town of Tombstone.
When I call your name, I'd ask that you approach this table.
But this fight isn't inside the OK Corral. 4 actors, members of Tombstone Huckleberry Productions, were arraigned Thursday in court.
How do you wish to plead to the charge?
Not guilty.
Charged with performing in the street without a proper permit. For the last several years, the group put on what they called a walk down to attract tourists to the famous gunfight at the OK Corral. But now we're forced to stop because it was in violation of a long-standing city ordinance.
There are specific locations that they can give to do the skit. Unfortunately, they just want to do it all the way down Allen Street, and they're going to have to cross the streets, and that's where we get rubberneckers, and we're not going to do it because it's a safety issue.
But according to those who work in town, that's not the only issue.
There seems to be a psychology that if you're making money, I won't make money. And it seems to me that if everybody realizes if the whole town were to push together, everybody would come to town.
Well, no one was ever convicted of a crime in the real gunfight some 100 years ago. The actors here at the OK Corral could have a very different outcome. If convicted of the criminal offense, the gang could be forced to spend 6 months in jail and pay a $200 fine, a sentence one of their fellow actors finds ridiculous.
Seeing the Earps walk down the street is what people come to this town to see. You know, people have said Tombstone is the town too tough to die. I'm really beginning to believe that Tombstone is the town too stupid to thrive.
The governor with everybody here to veto this bill.
Another busy day at the Capitol as hundreds of protesters gathered outside the governor's office in opposition to Senate Bill 1070. While the majority of the crowd came to attend a news conference,
today we are changed to the Capitol, just like our community is changed by this legislation.
A small group of 9 Arizona college students chained themselves to the governor's office door and refused to leave until she vetoes the bill.
Keep your head up, Ward! Keep your head up!
After about 20 minutes, Capitol Police arrested the group and the students were taken into custody. This as an attorney showed up to address the media.
It's an abuse of power to take university students into custody who have done nothing more than to exercise their First Amendment right to protest.
But the disruption didn't stop the crowd from doing what they came here to do. Some 80,000 petitions were hand-delivered to the governor's office, while her staff handled thousands of phone calls from people on both sides of the issue. Have you received any indication that the governor will sign this into law?
I'm convinced that she will. I know she will.
Why are you so convinced?
Well, because, as I said, we've been working with her staff on the wording and making sure that everything is compatible to what she wants and what she's comfortable with. And I, for one, believe that she will sign it.
Garrett reports from the cockpit. She continues our team coverage.
He performed some of the most daring stunts in the world.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's great, isn't it?
This is awesome.
We're not talking about the standard rolls, loops, and spins you'd expect to see at an air show.
I think I'm good. I think I can handle this.
Are you? You doing
Not
okay?
bad, yeah.
All right, Linda, okay. We're going to take you to the next step then.
We're talking about tumbling nose-over-tail tricks at speeds of up to 250 miles an hour.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Pilot Greg Poe calls it gyroscopic aerobatics.
Oh my gosh.
That's something.
Are we straight up right now?
Straight up. Perfectly straight up in the air.
The kind that makes the plane whip around and appear like it's flying out of control.
And here we go.
Oh, wow.
And that is upside down.
Haven't seen Arizona this way yet.
This is a little bit different way of sightseeing.
And he does it all from inside his Fagan MX-2, a 1,300-pound carbon fiber plane powered by ethanol.
It makes a lot of sense for us because not only does it do all the right things for the environment and the country and the economy, but our engine actually runs better. We get more performance, more horsepower.
More horsepower from clean green fuel made from corn.
Okay, here we go. Breakaway now.
Wow! His goal to create as much wow factor as possible.
Get very serious, in-your-face, aggressive kind of flying.
And attract more attention to his cause.
Well, we have a program called Elevate Your Life.
It's a program that began out of tragedy.
I lost my son, who got involved in drugs as a teenager, but it also was an eye-opener about the need, I think, to try and expose young people to positive things, to encourage them to believe in themselves.
Now with every corkscrew, pinwheel, and hammerhead he performs, it's a chance to teach children that when it comes to following their dreams, the sky is the limit.
How you doing, girl? All right.
In Tucson, Linda Garrett, KGUN 9, on your side.
At 5 o'clock, we promised you some snow. Guess what? We did find it a little bit up the road where it caught some drivers and those that cater to them a little off guard.
A little more, sir. Okay, stop.
This man, known to locals as the Gray Goose, has been installing chains on Interstate 80 for 35 years and tells me this is one of the earliest starts of the snowy season he's seen in a long time. This is just kind of the beginning of the season, huh?
Yeah, this is the first control. It's pretty bad, I guess, or we wouldn't be out here.
Right, right. He wasn't the only one surprised by the stormy conditions in the Sierra.
Well, it's been nice up until now.
Hundreds of people making the trip from Reno back to the Sacramento and San Francisco areas were at a standstill while drivers pulled over to chain up before Caltrans waved them on.
Well, I knew I was going to hit a little bit of weather, but nothing like this.
We thought it might happen, but we were hoping it wouldn't.
Luckily, most of the drivers we talked with were in good spirits. This group on board a bus from the casinos to San Bruno tells me they waited more than an hour in traffic until they reached a point where the driver could safely pull over for crews to dress the tires. For them, it was an adventure finding creative ways to help pass the time.
Watching TV, jokes, sleeping, drinking. Anything we can do, really, yes.
But for independent workers like the Gray Goose, it's serious business, the start of a busy season with a long road ahead. How important is it to have chains up here?
It's very important. If you don't know how to drive, you can get in a wreck awful easy.